All right, today we have another new assignment. This is a bulk assignment that's going to take us the better part of a week to do. If you spread it out like I want, do not let yourself get behind on this. However, if you want to get ahead, that is fine. And so, the Chapter 6 assignment. I have a lot of attachments. The last attachment is kind of the directions in a prettier form because sometimes you don't look at the directions. And so the recommended pacing is to do slides 1 and 2 today. There are 11 questions, but a lot of them are pretty quick. So section 1, even though there's 2 sections, section 1 has a lot, so it gets 2 slides. Tomorrow, very easy, 3 questions based on a YouTube video about the question of, are our traits completely genetic? In this case, they look at height. Monday, we're going to do slide 4, chapter 6, section 2, questions 15 to 21. And then Tuesday, because your book is old, we're going to look at CRISPR. CRISPR is this new technique to edit DNA. So while we've been able to edit DNA for a while, for a couple of decades, it's been very clumsy and expensive, and CRISPR is very precise and cheap. So we really do need to spend some time on CRISPR because it literally is changing the world. We'll talk more about that when we get to that article. So this is Thursday through Tuesday. I've got 4 days laid out, but I'm giving you till next Thursday to get it done. You know how it is. I give people extra time, but sometimes that's a curse. And when people have extra time, they put it off and put it off and put it off and then get behind. So please do the work and please spread it out. And please, 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 please check these videos. I'm trying to give you hints here. So what do? We find our slides and we open them. We want to press the square arrow in the upper right hand corner. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to edit it in slides. And if that doesn't work, go to self-service and download the Slides app. A couple of you are still writing on PDFs, and that's really frustrating, so press that square arrow. So today we have the first 2 slides. I'm going to split screen with the book. So how do I do that? I go back and I find Google Classroom and I drag it back. And while it looks the same, I'm going to hit the X and the down arrow and find the red one, my textbook pages. And so we actually skip the story this time. We go right to the 3rd page. And the 3 parts of a nucleotide, well, they're abbreviated PS, and then there's a base. The 3rd part is a base. And the P and the S stand for some things you're going to have to read. So each nucleotide contains 3 different types of materials, a blank, and a base. So I gave you the answer there. Chargaff's rule, it's on the next page, it's pretty easy. It's a paragraph titled Chargaff's rule. Then who photographed DNA and who used the picture to discover it. Again, pictures are amazing. These people are important. What is the shape of DNA? That's going to be on the next page. So there's 2 ways to describe this shape, this twisted shape. And so there's the mathematical name of the shape, and then there's the more regular description. Either one's fine. And how long would your DNA be if you stretched it end to end? I love pictures. So we're skipping this bit about replication, but some of these pictures are very helpful. Incomplete dominance, and this is really, we're skipping this lovely set of pages. This tells us how DNA wraps up super duper tiny, which is important. That feels kind of high school for me. So we skipped that page, and we're going to talk about incomplete dominance. So incomplete dominance is different from regular dominant and recessive traits because when you have 2 different alleles, 2 different instructions, one does not take over. The traits don't blend, but both alleles have some degree of influence. So we have a red allele and a white allele in the snapdragon flower. And when they are both present, the flowers look pink. But they're not blended. When you zoom in on the cells of the flower, what you see is half the cells are white and half the cells are red. But from our big view, it looks pink. There are several types of traits that are incompletely dominant. And so if we move on to the next slide, we can try to figure this out. So why do we have both capitalized letters? Because neither trait is hiding. The number tells us if it's red or white. So R1 is red, R2 is white. Neither trait is hiding. When all you have is R1s, you get a red flower. When all you have is R2s, you get a white flower. When you have one of each, you get a pink flower. So you need to fill out the box. These are a text box for you to write in. And don't worry if you can't keep the little number raised up above the R's. But you need to fill it out. See how many are R1, red. Remember, one box would be 25%, 2 would be 50, 3 would be 75, 4 would be 100%, and 0 would be 0%. Now, be careful. We're not doing the same problem as the book. Don't just copy this. Here we had a red parent and a white parent. And here we have 2 pink parents. So the outcome will be different. Moving on, the tigers is a question. And then over here we have a question about eye color and a question about height. Oh wow, this book has some underlining. That's really helpful. All right, so that's just today's work. Tomorrow's super easy, so if you get behind today, tomorrow there's just 3 questions about a YouTube video looking further into is height genetic. So this top video is the one you need. If you want to move it to YouTube, you can open that link. Let's see if it lets me. Maybe. Open link, yep. Or you can try to play the video in slides. I will also post that video on the website and in Google Classroom tomorrow. All right, so that's today's work. Hopefully you're going to do slides 1 and 2 today. That's the recommended pacing. If you feel comfortable and you want to get ahead, go for it. Good luck.